This video tutorial will go over the different program options available in PDspect. To see the various program options, we need to open up the Program Settings screen. And we can do this by clicking on the Settings tab or by clicking on the Program Settings icon. Let's go ahead and click on the icon. We're now looking at the Program Settings screen. The first three items are all related to the screen fonts. You can change the screen prompt font, the screen data font, and the font size. Let's go ahead and change the screen prompt font and make the font size larger to see how it works. So let's change the prompt font from Verdana to Times New Roman, and we'll make the font size 17. Let's click on OK. As you can now see, the words on the screen are larger and the prompts are a different font. Let's go back to Program Settings and take a look at the other options. The next two options are where you control where your inspection files are saved. The inspection files location is where your inspection files will be saved by default when you go to Save or Save As. By default, this is in the PDspect 7 folder inside of your Documents folder. The archive location is where the program is going to store your archived inspections. PDspect automatically creates a backup of all of your inspections and stores this backup in the archive location. Every time you save an inspection, it's going to save a copy of it in your inspection files location as well as in your archive location. You can change the location of either the inspection files or the archive by simply clicking on the Locate button and navigating to a different folder. After that, we have a series of different checkboxes. Let's get started with the left column first. First, we have Auto Save File Between Categories. If this option is checked, then every time you switch categories in your inspection, PDspect will automatically save your file. Next is a checkbox for Default to First Rating on Description Entry. This feature is a great way to save time with PDspect. If this box is checked, then if you fill out the description of a line before you fill out the rating for the line, then the program is going to automatically select the first rating for that line. After that, we have Let Program Sort Drop-Down Lists. When this is checked, PDspect will sort all of your drop-down lists for you. If you want to sort the lists on your own, simply uncheck the box. Next, we have Show Ratings Individually. If this item is checked, then instead of having a drop-down for your ratings, you have a series of circles to select from. It's important to note that checking this option only impacts the way the input screen works, and this only works on the PC and is not available with the app. Moving to the right column, we have Allow Entry of Cost Estimates. When this box is checked, you'll have the option to enter a cost to repair or replace an item for each line. After that is Don't Prompt for Add to List. If this option is checked, then the program will no longer prompt you to add an item to one of your description drop-down lists when you type something in that's not already in the list. After that is Don't Prompt to Set Defaults. This option is not one that is relevant to most inspections and can simply be left checked. And then the final checkbox is Autocomplete Text Entries. This is a PC-only feature, and if this is checked, the program will complete an item in your description box with an entry from your library after you have entered the initial letter. It's important to note that this is case sensitive. Below the checkboxes, we have an option for Screen Image Size. This option allows you to change the size that pictures show up on the input screen after they've been added to your report. Next, we have Data Model, Import from V65, then Import from V6. The two import buttons will allow you to import your information from a previous version of the PDspect program. And Data Model is set to Universal by default. This option only impacts a small number of users and should not be changed unless you're directed to do so by PDspect. Below this, we have a spot for Username and Password. This is where you can input the username and password you receive from PDspect to be able to use the PDspect Cloud Drive. Both the username and password are case sensitive and must be entered exactly the way they appear in your email you receive from PDspect. To the right of this, we have Test and reset license. Test is a helpful option that lets you test to make sure the username and password you entered is correct. Once you have the information in, it's recommended that you click on the test button. If the information you entered is correct, you'll see a message that appears saying that you've connected successfully. If it's not correct, then you'll get an error message saying that you need to re-enter it. Reset license is another option that's available that most inspectors won't have to worry about. You should only click on this if directed so by PDspect. Below this, we have change email template. This option gives you the ability to change the text that appears in your email by default when you create a PDF in PDspect and then tell the program to email it. To the right of this, we have a checkbox for cost estimate settings. You can click on this to change settings associated with cost estimates if you choose to enter them. And finally, we have default image size. This is where you change the size that pictures are added into your report at by default. This concludes the Program Options tutorial.